Hello, everyone. Welcome to my channel. If this is your first time tuning in, welcome. I am currently telling a story of my life dating back from January 2016. Last episode, I spoke about the month of October, everything that happened from Crystal, micro, my walk with God, and just my overall performance in school and how I was feeling overall as well. So, this episode, I'm going to talk about the month of November, and here it goes. So, November 2017, we had about 5 more weeks left in the semester. I'm just powering through. I'm just like, I can't wait for the semester to be over. I can't wait for these 5 weeks to be done. First week in November is Crystal's birthday. I never addressed my issue with Crystal in the month of October because her birthday was coming up. I didn't want to kill her moment. I didn't want to kill her birthday moment. So I said, you know what? After her birthday, I will talk about our issues, and that's that. So her birthday comes. I call her. I wish her happy birthday. I'm still cordial. And to be honest, I really don't have any ill will towards her. I just I'm just not feeling the disrespect. So, but in my tone in our conversations, she can tell that there was something kind of going on. Anyways, November 9 comes and I decide to give her a call and talk about this issue cuz I can't just I can't just keep this thing inside of me. So, I call her that night. I call her, she picks it up. It's a Friday, and I basically tell her, like, Crystal, I just don't feel like you've been supportive. I don't feel like you've been supportive. I don't feel like you've been compassionate towards me. I've been going through some stuff, and I just feel like you're not there. Um, and then I mentioned my micro exam when I got a 20. And I tell her, I said, when I mentioned it to you, it just felt like you were passive. You didn't really say anything. Like there was no type of encouragement. And this is what she says. The reason why I didn't say anything is because I didn't have, like, I couldn't do anything. I don't have the power to change your grade. So it's just best for you to do better next time. I felt insulted because all the time she called me complaining about her grade, I didn't have the power to change her grade either, but I gave her words of encouragement. And so for her to give me that, I was about to say something. So for her to give me that nonsense excuse, I felt insulted. And immediately I told myself, I will never, ever confide in her ever again. So we go into talking and she says that if I had an issue with her, why didn't I tell her all this time? And I was like, your birthday was coming up. I'm not going to bring it up. She says, so it doesn't matter that ugh. And then I brought up the Tony situation. She was like, oh my goodness, you're so sensitive. Like, ugh, I was just joking with you. Like, I can't even joke with you. Oh my goodness, you're so sensitive. And then I was like, yo, I was sick. Then she said she didn't know I was sick. I was like, we spoke earlier that day. We spoke earlier that day. I told you I was sick. Well, I don't remember. Oh my goodness, you're so sensitive. She started calling me sensitive. And then I'm just like, wait, what? She's calling me sensitive? Okay. And then the conversation goes into me not wanting to go to church with her October 15th. I think it was 15 or 16. And I was like, yeah, because I had to finish my homework. Like, what does that have to do with the conversation? And then she brought up returning my Tupperware. I was like, I'm not stressing about my Tupperware. You can keep it. Like, why are you? That has nothing to do with the conversation. She was just bringing up stuff that had nothing to do with the conversation. She started calling me sensitive. She just, you're just so sensitive. Like, why are you building up a wall? If you have an issue, you should have told me. Da, 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 da. And she was like, well, I'm going out right now. My friends are taking me out to celebrate my birthday. And this is what I said to her. I said, "Do you have anything else to say? Because I don't want you to send me a long text after this phone call." Because she has a thing of doing that. And she was like, "No, bye." She cuts the phone. I cut the phone, and lo and behold, 3 minutes later, she sends me a long text message. And I said, I knew it. I knew it. I knew she was going to send me a long text message. But this is what she says. She says that she was blaming me for not informing her about how I felt about the whole situation. And also during the phone call, she said she was under a lot of stress from her program, that she's going through a lot, that she's not even calling her family, yada, 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 that she's going through so much, blah, 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 blah. So in the text message, she says that, if I had an issue, I should have informed her, that I was building a wall inside of me, and that, so is this how it's going to be when I get married? Like, I will hold a grudge until like my wedding day, and I wouldn't tell her that I have an issue with her. Like, she was really flipping the script. And she also said that you should have told me, because I know how to make people feel $1,000,000 better. And when I read that, I was like, $1,000,000. Is that in Monopoly money? $1,000,000 of Monopoly money, because nothing about her words, nothing about her our conversations were ever soothing. I was the one doing the encouragement. I was the one doing the having the support. I wasn't getting any of that from her. And she was just saying how if I want to go to a different church, like she really did not have an argument, but she was just bringing up different stuff just so that I she wouldn't look bad. And also part of the phone conversation, she said, "You're making me look like a bad person." That was never my intentions. My intentions was to tell her how I felt as a friend. Like, yo, I just feel like you're not supportive. If I knew the conversation was going to go that way, I probably wouldn't have had that conversation on the phone. I really thought it was going to be a situation of where she's like, "Oh, Adrian, I didn't know this is what you're going through. I'm sorry. I'm going through stuff myself." I thought that was how the conversation was going to be like, not knowing that she was trying to flip it on me to make it look like I was in the wrong. So after that text message, I responded. I can't even remember my response, but I think I was just telling her, like, I just feel like you haven't just been supported, and that I'm just telling you how I feel. After that conversation, I told myself our relationship will never, ever, 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 ever be the same. No, there's no going back from this. I felt very insulted when she said she didn't have the power to change my grade. That's why she didn't say anything. I felt insulted when she called me sensitive, because she insulted me when I was sick. I felt very insulted that she was just trying to flip everything on me. So I said, yeah, no, our friendship will never be the same. I don't know the state of our friendship. So at this point, I told myself, I am going to focus on the rest of the 5 weeks left in the semester. After that, then I would see what I would do concerning this friendship. But as of right now, I need to focus on myself, because clearly she doesn't care about me. So I need to care about myself. So as of this point, when it comes to Michael, I'm doing better. But it's not enough to cover up that 20. It's not enough to cover up the 20. But I'm like, who knows what can come of this? Like, who knows? A couple of days after, I get a text from Crystal about a Friendsgiving that her friend is having. That, hey, my friends are having a Thanksgiving. I'll let you know when it's finalized and the time and everything. That's okay, cool. I'll go. And also, me thinking of going is also trying to have a face to face conversation of our issues, even though at this point I'm like, yo, there's no coming back from this. Thanksgiving is approaching. I do not hear from Crystal. She does not update me about any Friendsgiving situation. She doesn't tell me nothing. And this kind of pissed me off, because my roommate, this was her first time living in the US and first time experiencing Thanksgiving. So I had an idea of, hey, I'm not going back home, so let me, make some Thanksgiving food in our apartment. But once Crystal brought up the idea of the whole Friendsgiving situation, I decided not to do that anymore. Days leading up to the Friendsgiving, Crystal doesn't say anything. The day of Thanksgiving itself, she doesn't say anything. And I'm pissed. I ended up ordering Domino's on Thanksgiving. I could have prepared something at home. So I was like, okay, like this girl is mm, just, it's November 28th and it's the last week of the semester. My grad group had a rap party. I said, you know what? I'm gonna go because I want free food. And not only was that the day of the rap party, that was also the day that my micro final was scheduled. I don't know what's gonna happen. I just, you know, but I said, you know what? I need to get some free food. I go to the rap party and I sit down. I sit down next to Esther. If you remember her, I mentioned her character probably like a couple episodes ago. I sit next to Esther and I start having a conversation with her. I asked her, "Are you Nigerian?" And she was like, "Yeah, how do you know?" I said, "Oh, because of your last name." And then we started talking. She tells me, "Oh, she's in a PhD program for, I'm not going to say the program, but she's in a PhD program. And she got her master's at Georgia State." And I said, "Oh, I'm getting my master's here in Georgia State with, the program." And then we just started talking. The next thing you know, she says, we should exchange numbers. She asked for my number. So we exchanged numbers and I said, hey, we would, keep in contact and stuff like that. So after the rap party, I went to study a little bit and then I went to class to take my final. And that was pretty much the month of November. That was pretty much the month of November. Something I also forgot to mention was in the beginning of November, I told myself I was going to be more intentional with my devotion time. I said I'm going to force myself to be more intentional because not only was it affecting my grades, but it was affecting my overall health as a person. And I was like, yeah, I can't abandon that time with God. So what I did was I would read, at that time I was reading Proverbs. I would read Proverbs and I would write down what I was reading basically. And I said, this is what I'm going to do to keep me on my toes when it comes to devotion time and spending time with God. So yeah, November, it's picking up. My devotion time is picking up. Another thing that happened in November, when I was going through this whole mindset of me and Crystal's friendship will never be the same, I remember having devotion at night and the Lord told me, let it go. Tell me, let it go. Now, when I heard let it go, I'm thinking he's talking about let go of like the animosity and the pain and the hurt. So I said, okay, I'm going to let that go and truly forgive her. Also, at this time, I was feeling like God was separating me from her. Didn't understand why, but I was just sensing that God was separating me and Crystal. So in the month of November, that was what happened. So school is wrapping up. My friendship with Crystal is wrapping up. It looks like it's wrapping up. Yeah. So next episode, I'm gonna talk about the month of December, and that was really at finals. That was the end of the semester, and also Crystal. I'm gonna talk about Crystal as well. So thank you for tuning into this episode. If you're not following me on Instagram, kindly do. If you are not subscribed to my channel, kindly subscribe. If you're not liking my videos, do that. So until next time,